Hey everybody, you know what time it is. I know what time it is. We all know what time it is. It is time for Syntex Live. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing good. I've had a really messed up week so far, so I'm going to pop a top. I hope you guys will join me today. And let's get started on this week's Syntex Live. So hopefully everybody has been able to click past the skip those god-awful commercial buttons. And I first have to make sure I send out some special thanks to a couple folks who really been helping out in the past week. That's Demon and Chris Dixon. I don't think you're both in the chat just yet, but you guys really been helping out, at least financially, and I just want to give an extra shout out to you guys. Don't forget, everything restarts this week, or I should say restarts today. The video's already been made. I just haven't done the final part of the thanks to everybody who puts out any type of super chats or thanks or whatever. So that'll change up tonight compared to what's been doing for the past week. So on to the next part that's in my notes. The election's over. Yay! Finally, we don't have to deal with so much political bullshit. I got a feeling I'm going to be dealing with a whole bunch more bullshit, so especially those of us over on this side of the pond. I know a few of you are actually over on the other side of the Atlantic, and I appreciate everybody who does watch the show. That being said, hopefully things don't get too crazy. If you're in a major city, for the love of God, be careful, okay? There's going to be some crazies doing crazy stuff. So best to, if you have to, sit in and listen to the stories. Anyone you haven't listened to already, kill some time on that while they're outside doing their crazy stuff, and then you can go outside when it's safer. I just want y'all to be okay because it can be bad. I've actually seen one actual food riot before, and honestly, no thank you. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt, not this one, and it was just not fun. Want to put in here that Veterans Day weekend is coming up, and I got a lot of things on my plate. I wanted to actually get 2 videos out today. That did not happen because I've been running around like a jackass. It's driving me crazy. I want to sit and make more content for you guys, but hey, life happens. Let me get that cursor off. Let's see. Like everybody else, there's a lot of family plans. If you're going out for the long weekends, good luck. Here's to you having a good weekend. And you notice I've still got the koozie that mentions all my audience, because you're all bad motherfuckers. So anyway, let's see. It's also hunting season. You can actually see over there. I haven't put the 30-30 away yet. Didn't get the buck. I saw him right at the withers, and I'm like, come out from behind that tree, you son of a, and then he turned and went the other direction. I was like, you bastard. All right, on to the actual channel news. As far as the files goes, I did that one with Baba Yaga. That was a viewer request episode. Just so you guys know, it wasn't talking about Howl's Moving Castle. That's actually from the actual original Baba Yaga. Actually did have houses that walked. They walked through the woods silently, and that's why you couldn't see the house, is because it was elevated up into the trees, and the legs, when they stop, go from avian legs to looking like tree trunks. That's what made it so dangerous. So if that was got you guys confused, it is what it is. Although somebody did actually, thank you for noticing that the character there went John Wick on the Baba Yaga. Yes, that was meant to be a pun, and that was meant to be a Halloween pun. If you haven't seen John Wick, then sorry, I'm not ruining anything by letting you know that's what they call him. Okay, a few people said how they enjoyed the fact that Call Us Monsters was brought back in. It's going to be a while before I go back into that again. It's just, it doesn't get the view count, folks. I really wish it did. I enjoy making it. That being said, if it doesn't get the views, it doesn't get more episodes. It's just the way it is. I will come back later for it because you guys keep requesting it. But for right now, that's what it is. All right, moving on to the one I've been working on for a while. By the way, the last episodes of Spoils of War is dropping tonight. You guys, you come up with the funniest shit in the comment section. When the guy went into the ship and had to go down, you mentioned going deep into the egg chamber. I had totally forgot about the Aliens movies until you brought that up. And yes, I got a good laugh about it. That was actually really funny. Although, when Chris gets in here, I'm going to have to ask. You put in, and I kid you not, I put the quote in from women everywhere. Thank you. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a second. Because you guys know how I give the shout outs at the end of the video. Is Christine, or Christopher? Because I'd hate to actually say thanks to Chris Dixon, who's a female, and I put up the abomination. I mean, that would be embarrassing, guys. It's just, no. Yeah, that's not cool. Okay. But we'll see if they're in the chat here in a minute. Where was I? Yes. Spoils of war. Somebody actually figured it out in the comment section. There's an old phrase that says, be careful when losing a battle. Sometimes you only sharpen the spears of your enemy. It comes down to back in like Greek times when new technologies were like so craved. Just the chariot, or learning how to put a saddle on with actual stirrups. That was a big deal. And if you went in the first time with cavalry and you suddenly, crashed, your horses in there, but then you lost the horses or you lost the battle, suddenly the enemy knows how to make their own cavalry, and they didn't before. So, it is what it is, which is why the Romans got smart. I don't know if you guys know this, but when they had their own javelins that they threw, right behind the pointy end of said javelin was actually made very, very thin. So even if it missed, it would actually bend, which means if you picked it up and tried to throw it back, it would wobble and miss, and it wouldn't be able to penetrate anything. I didn't think about this, but bringing up the fact that Spoils of War is a lot about space orcs. Again, I'm not a big 40K fan, guys. That was just funny. That was just very, very funny. And I already mentioned that the next chapter was tonight. I kind of ran through my notes really quick, guys, because there really wasn't much in the comment section because I missed a couple of days. It's my fault. Just my fault. Now, before we get into the little special I got planned for you guys tonight, I got to let you know that another person dropped in the chat. They said that the chapter-long stories are nice, but they're going to make me lose subscribers. They're going to make me lose viewers, and they're right. The channel hasn't been doing well. It's been doing okay. It hasn't been doing great. I've been falling behind because a lot of people don't want to wait for the next chapter. They just want to listen to the story and get it over with. So that means I'm going to be trying my damnedest to pump out a bunch of short stories. Speaking of which, I still have a certain one over here, and you know who it comes from when I mention this. Guys, if you send me something to read and it has a character from another genre, in this case, it's had General Zod on it in the second or third sentence, I would have to go and change the name, for that, because I can't use General Zod. That is already copyright. I will get friggin' tagged. I can say it here because this is a live stream and I'm not actually creating anything right now. I'm just talking about the channel and talking how we're going to be doing this. Now, be very careful when you're making your own stuff. If you publish it in a way that you can be paid for it, if you're just posting on Reddit, what do you get from there? You get a couple thumbs up and you get a couple digital, howdy doos in there. Not such a big deal. That being said, you get paid for that. Somebody's going to come back and you might get, say, $100 and they're going to sue you for 10,000. The profit margin is negligible, or actually I should say negative at that point. I only bring this up. Be careful. Okay. If you're publishing anything, be very, very careful. I've been almost clipped a couple times. It's not cool. I've actually had to go into a pay site. I used to do commissioned work, and I put a couple examples in there, and one was derivative, very derivative, like straight off the cannon of a certain one, which I'm going to be getting into here in a minute. And they literally said, you either delete this or we'll see you in court. And I said, you better send me the actual documents before I delete this. And they did. It's right within like 2 minutes to my emails. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I had to delete it. Be careful. Okay. That was being nice on their part. They could have just sent me the paperwork and said, see you in court. Don't get caught up in that bullshit. It is not fucking worth it. So a lot of creators are doing what I'm doing now. They're not pulling a lot of stuff up because they're afraid of actually getting tagged on any type of copyright. YouTube is very, very, very particular on that. So anyway, that's enough of me bitching and moaning about that. All right. I'm going to hit a couple of these on the comment side, and then I'm going to go in here because what I want to do, since I cannot post a certain story because it's based off the Transformers and I can't officially make any money off it. I can talk on a live stream about it all the time because I'm not getting paid directly for it. That being said, if I'm getting YouTube revenue, I'm fucked. Okay. Seriously screwed. Because again, small channel, they love to pick apart small channels. If I did that on Joe Rogan and I actually read the whole thing, then they wouldn't touch me because Joe Rogan's pretty much untouchable at this point. So one thing I'm going to do with the whole Transformers derivative story, once I get through, like I said, I'm going to get through at least the starting point, and you guys let me know if you like it so far. And if you do, I'll keep going for a little while, and then we will get rocking. Okay. Here in let's see. Yep, everybody's saying hi. Guard's got himself a hack to pass the ads. Okay. That's pretty good. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that, Demon. The time change. Yeah. It seems like it's not really affecting. I mean, I don't really get too many people watching at a time, but I mean, it seems to be doing okay. Maybe it's easier for him now. Leonid's mining salt tonight. There you go. Why not? Guard saying, I've genocide 3/4 of the bosses in Elden Ring in the main game. I haven't completed the setting in Ardtree on fire yet because I want to do the DLC. Okay. Direct. Okay. Yeah. Guardian's asking, is it safe to talk about politics? Yeah, it's never safe to talk about politics. There's two things you never talk about, politics and religion. Those are yourselves. And it's bad. I mean, you can talk about situations. But I guarantee if I start talking about shit from the southern border, people are going to get, I'll drop friggin' viewers in half easily because that's just the way it is. Kale's here. Hey, it's been a while. Let's see. Guard saying it should be because people all over the Reddit and Facebook and X are going ballistic. They are. And that's to be expected because that's what happened last time. I unfortunately think things will get a little more violent here in the next 2 months, but we'll see. Guardian saying, you missed the buck. What a shame. I didn't actually miss him because I didn't shoot. He turned. There was a very large pine tree that he went on the other side. And what I think he heard is I flipped up the cover on my scope. And I think he heard that and went the other way because he couldn't see me because his head was on the other side of the tree. And I'm just waiting for him to come out. I'm like, where are you? Where are you? And he was nice. Oh, I could see him about maybe just below the withers. For those who don't know, if you're looking at a deer, say this is the head, it's right about here where the neck and the shoulders come together. Okay, right at that kind of scoop area where it levels off. And I saw him just below there. I mean, I could see his spine area a little bit and just below, but I couldn't see the rest until he stepped out. But I could see that big, thick neck of his. I mean, shit, he would have filled my freezer for sure. Guaranteed. Plus, I'd have another set of antlers. Not that I'm much, as you can see in the background, I don't do much in the way of decoration. I really don't give a shit. Anyway, one thing I'd hate to miss is you guys hitting the like button. So if you could, click that just to help me out, I'd appreciate it. But anyways, aside from that buck, I haven't seen shit. I saw a bunch of turkeys this morning, but no, turkey season is over. I didn't see turkeys until the day after turkey season. Yeah, ain't that a bitch? But it is what it is. I mean, sometimes I've gone 2 or 3 years. It got totally skunked, and I went out hunting every single day. Other times I'll go out the first day. I'll fill both my tags and call it good. It is what it is. Okay. Excuse me. Bite Me says, to guard, I use a browser that starts with fire plus Kitsune to avoid ads. Okay. A fire Kitsune. Does it burn when she pees? Okay. Lena says, Baba Yaga is basically god of life and death. Yes, it depends on which one you look into, which is why I had it split in the story, one good, one bad, because there is no original that I could really sink my teeth into, unfortunately. There was so many different ones, and even the most basic example said it's either good or either bad. So I had to work around that whole thing. The last thing I need is something that was going to change its face on me. Demon saying, yeah, I lost a lot of friends because of the erection, but some of them say, bye, no problem. Some made me sad to lose. Yeah, look, a lot of people even last time said that if a certain, citrus fruit looking guy had won, they were going to leave the country, and none of them did. And I don't expect any of them will either. They'll just get over it. But yeah, it sucks that people are getting way too deep into this. And again, it is what it is. Let's see. Bite Me saying, I enjoyed the double entendres in your last drop. Well, you just wait. That's all I can say. Guys, I enjoy trying to make you guys laugh. I've done stand-up before. I'm not super great at it, but if I can actually set up the joke right, it works well. I'm unfortunately, I'm not Billy Crystal, guys. I can't just snap out and somebody say, how do I look? Oh, you still combing your hair with the Exxon Valdez? It doesn't quite. I would have to sit and think about it. Okay, Sniper says, I know we don't go political, but it's a good and bad thing now that Trump is president of America. How do you see that? I don't see it yet. I don't want to hit too much until he's actually sworn in, because really, really bad things can happen before that. All I know is he seems the type of person to say, yeah, we're not doing that, or yeah, we are doing that. And he's just going to do what he seems right. Now, here's my stance on the billionaire who's now going to be going back into the White House. And it's very simple. If you've seen Game of Thrones, you heard the line where they're talking to the slave master guys, and somebody says, do you trust me? He says, no, I don't trust him. I trust his self-interest. His self-interest is a good real estate market. That's how he makes money. To have a good real estate market, you need to have a good economy. It is required for that to happen. Without a good economy, the real estate market tanks, and there he goes. Speaking of there he goes, I need to stop my yammering because we have a $10 super chat from MTF Guard. Let me just write this here. And he says, pay raise, got a good webtoon called Granny. In short, the mother of a South Korean soldier that was beaten into a vegetative state takes revenge with help from a couple men who served with him. Ooh, that sounds dark. That sounds old school dark. That actually sounds really good. Are you going to be doing that one in color? Or are you going to stick with black and white? That's what I'd like to know. I personally, if you're doing something like this, a lot of times the black and white is just really good with just a splash of color every once in a while, kind of like how Sin City was done. That really drives the point home sometimes. Not to mention, if you're trying to differentiate certain characters, sometimes a certain little splash of color on certain ones will help you do that. I only say that because I've known several people when they do draw, they literally are drawing the exact same face on every male and the exact same face on every female. And sometimes it's the exact same face on both, one with just longer hair. So just be careful on that. But yeah, tell you what, Guard, if you want to drop your the link to your webtoon on there, by all means, drop it on there and we'll put it out. And because I'm all about helping people start their stuff up. I mean, you guys are helping me now just being here. So yeah, by all means, put the link in there and we'll show everybody. Okay, before this goes absolutely haywire, I'm going to finish what I was saying about whether a certain person is good or bad for America. If somebody's self-interest lines up with mine, I will work with them for a time, but I will personally tell them straight up, I'm working with you until this point. You're not playing any freaking games. You're not dragging me along. You're not stringing me. You can freaking kiss the darkest part of my ass if you try to. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. We got $10 super sticker from SS Demon. You know you were still good for the next like 2 weeks already because of a previous donation, but I still appreciate it with his little little dancing foxy there. I kind of figured the fox would make its debut again. You know, not to mention he's got his little sucker bus right there as his icon, so it kind of goes together. Thank you very much, Demon, Guard, and everybody else. I very much appreciate it. I'm starting to lose my voice here. Let's see. Anyway, where was I? Oh crap! Okay. I got. You guys keep me busy. I got a $5 super sticker from Erica Gem. And I hope you don't mind that, Erica, recently, you know, for the past couple weeks, I haven't been showing how truly outrageous you are. Hopefully you're not getting pissed off with any of the things I show. By the way, you guys can clearly just either send me an email or send a comment or something. If I put up something you don't like as your shout out picture, just let me know. I will fix it. I might only leave it, or I might leave it up there and not try to repost the video, but you get the idea. I'm not going to freaking sit here and piss on people that are helping me out. So again, I appreciate it, everybody. And let's get back into the chats here. Don't know where the hell I was. Okay, we'll start here. Oh, is Ava leaving? Oh, shit. Ava's gone. Oh, fuck. Bye. Hopefully she'll be back. I didn't get a chance to say that. I haven't seen her in the other chats in a while. I guess she working. Let's see. Kale says, "Hey, Sin, do you have any spaceship themed story anytime soon? I missed the good spaceship battle story. Those are coming up. You know, I'm going to make a special note for actually ship centric. I could continue on if I wanted to with flying bricks. That wouldn't be too hard to keep going. But if you want an actual specific story, I could actually go on that. I got you ship-centric. Sure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the crew mate on that one on side their big bulbous ship there. But yeah, Kale, I don't think you were here before. I mentioned I'm going to be getting away from the chapter-based stories and go on the single one-off type stories. I'm going to try and get back to my roots on that. So yes, there'll be more single like ship battle type stories on that one. Sir Braddock says, if copyright is a problem, you can always use your name or use my name. So far, I'm only mentioned in 2 games. It's fine. Let's see. Guard's talking about his comic here. He says it's in color, but has its black and white scenes, especially when it gets extremely brutal. You know, like Marv sitting there scraping some guy in the face or scraping some guy's face on the ground. I don't know about you, but I'm having a ball. I still love that line, folks. I still love that line. It's just funny. The reason being, it reminds me of somebody I used to work with. Really awesome guy, but man, if you pissed him off, look the fuck out. The kicker is he was one of my trainers. So if he was mad at me, I knew it because I was usually pissing blood for a couple of days. Okay, worst never saying, is it? I'm tired as heck, so I need to go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow at 07, and I'm shit with more. Yeah, it takes a while to get used to them. I'm still on the previous time, so I wake up before my alarm, which sucks. Guardian Sage says, what's some of your favorite classic sci-fi TV shows that you enjoy? For example, Star Trek. TOS, sorry. Buck Rogers and Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. You know, I remember Buck Rogers. It was weird. Knight Rider original, Quantum Leap. All right. When I was that young, as far as like the Next Generation stuff like that, I did watch those. I thought the Star Trek Next Generation was actually pretty good, especially for its time. The effects are extremely dated. That being said, I think the acting was just really good. I think that was the only true captain on any of those that actually was worth listening to, because he was just a very good actor and he did the part really well. My sister liked Buck Rogers. I couldn't get through with it. Knight Rider, come on, who didn't like Knight Rider? I don't care who you are. Knight Rider was a thing. Quantum Leap was weird. I just kind of got a kick out of it. My brain didn't understand all that. Now, that being said, as far as really deep into sci-fi, I wasn't really deep into sci-fi for a while until Babylon 5 came out. I fell in love with that damn show. And one of the things that actually drew me in was Newtonian physics were being used. I'm like, thank you, God, finally. Of course, the first time I saw Star Fury turn and still drift and fire, I was like, wait a minute. Is that how that works? Oh, son of a bitch, that is how it works. They don't actually fly like there's an atmosphere. You know, like on Squadron 42, which, by the way, awesome cinematics, by the way. If you don't even play the game, just watch the cinematics, and you're just going to be like, holy fucking shit. It started to, get a few things turning in the head, which, by the way, yes, there is going to be a specific ship-centric story coming up probably in the next 2 or 3 days, and it's going to be about the weapon systems mainly. That being said, trying to remember, because back in the day, once I got past the era of A-Team, I was getting old enough where I worked in the afternoons. I didn't actually sit and watch any sci-fi. And then by the time I actually sat down to watch TV, it was family time. We're watching, must-see TV and TGIF and crap like that. So anyways, I can't say I fell into the sci-fi genre back then yet, but I did just absolutely love Mech Warrior. I played Mech 2 a lot, Mech 2 Mercenaries. I would sit there, and if anybody got in my way, I was going to swat him in the face, and I pushed my brother over a couple times, saying, don't even bother. I'm going to beat this game if it kills you. So, okay, MTF Guard says, oh, wait a minute. That's sorry, he's extending from the brutal remark, like she's almost caught. Oh, like she almost cut off a couple of her fingers trying to shank one of the guys with a broken piece of glass. Ooh, yeah, they used to have a strange expression for that. I can't call it what they used to call it back then, using a broken bottle. But by the way, one of the phrases I did use in the stories, I'm going to be leaving the chat here in a second, but when I went through basic, we used to have this thing about saying, we're the men from Echo, the ones you heard about. So mothers hide your daughters whenever we're about. We fight with knives and 45s and broken bottles too. We are the men from Echo. Who the hell are you? and we didn't say hell a lot. But yeah, that's why it actually said they fight with knives, 45s, and broken bottles too. That was kind of an homage to my original basic training unit. All right, so I'd like to deviate just a little bit. We've been before I keep going in the chat box. I'd like to ask you really quick if you guys want me to start, and literally most of this is going to be coming off my head because when I first wrote this story, I got the beginning wrong. I got it all fucked up, so I can't just print it off and read it. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to basically gloss over the beginning a little bit, omitting a couple of the details so that as you guys are here tonight, you here are actually going to get at least the first part of this story. And if you like it, I'll continue on a little bit each time when we do a live stream. So, but you're going to see as I'm doing these, even if I have something to write or read from, I fumble a lot. Fair warning. Okay. This is why editing software is so important. All right. So, I'll let you guys go with the chat. Just let me know if you want me to do that. If not, I'm just going to keep going with the chat over here. I don't know which side you guys see it on, but I see it over here. Let's see. Let's see. Guard is on here saying, "Oh no, I didn't make it. I was telling you about it because I know you're in those darker mangas." I'm not actually into. I've read a few of them. I'm not super into those. I mean, I like a emphasis on good story, preferably an isekai if it's done right. I've actually stopped reading a bunch of isekais after the first like 10 pages because they suck so much. Other ones are just really good. And they're making one that, okay, guys, if you haven't seen this one, you need to watch it, provided they don't fuck this up. They're turning one of the best isekai mangas I've ever read into an actual anime. The guy he believes he's a Dark Lord, and he dies penniless, alone, and sickly as all hell in our world, as everybody has basically stabbed him in the back, spit in his face, and kicked him in the balls all at the same time. So he wants to be evil. Now, I'm not ruining anything because that's in like the first 2 or 3 pages. And then he's sent to another world. He's reborn there in a world where people age so slowly that they live for like 5,000 years. It's crazy. But because he's already got his past life and stuff like that, and he doesn't trust people, he's got a lot of psychological shit going on. But it's just a fun read. And because and it's supposed to come out next year, if you have a chance to watch it when it comes out as an anime, again, I hope they don't screw this up. I have a feeling they will, especially if they let American voice actors touch it. But it's going to be really good. Okay. I am looking forward to that. That was good. That was one of those. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired as fuck, but I don't care. I'm going to keep reading this. My eyes are burning. Oh God. But I didn't care. It was a really fun read. It gets really, really dark at times though. Let's see. Guard says, and the best part is no one is in the, whoa, shit, hold on. This thing's jumping. And the best part is it's not one of those Korean mangas where it's, British cigarette 24/7. I got to be careful with that word, by the way, Guard. I'm amazed they let you put it in the chat. But that's a quick way to get this chat actually stopped by me saying that. But I can say they're a British cigarette because apparently South Korea has a thing for making those, like a lot of those. It's disturbing. Maybe that's why their population is crashing so damn bad. You ever thought about that? I mean, it's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Now, I've been to South Korea. It's nice. The folks were pretty friendly as long as you weren't being an asshole. You had to deal with a language barrier because I can't speak Korean to save my nuts. But it is what it is. But then again, what they did is the same thing with Japan. They brought in the Japanese lifestyle, or sorry, the American lifestyle with Japanese culture, and there's parts that just don't mesh up. And one of the main things is you used to work in a family business and you were right there. As a guy, as soon as you either got a woman pregnant or got her married, which was the same thing, you immediately work your ass off every day, but you're in the same house with your family more often than not, or you're within walking distance. You can actually see your family every day. It's very, very common. Nowadays, they call it the death march over in Japan, where you literally march to work and you usually stay at work for several days at a time. You barely sleep, you barely eat. Folks are dropping at the age of 30, 35. It's like the obesity fuckers over here. And they're just keeling over. It was a bus driver crashed his bus. They went in to see what happened. They thought he passed out at the wheel. No, he fucking died. The dude was like 36, 37 years old. His heart just gave out. He'd been working for like 5-6 shifts straight because he needed the money. I'm like, what in the ever-loving snot rockets is going on? This is messed up. But because of the way ours is, we expect to work a lot of hours, but we also expect time off. Over there, their insistence on making sure you are the number one profit and everything like that, they just abuse everybody. I believe they call them black companies. It's just horrible. And you know, if you don't have time to see your woman, you don't have time to be around your kids, you definitely don't have time to date. And that's the whole lying flat thing they got over there. So anyways, I'm going to shut up on that. I'm going to drop down here to where Kale is. And he says, oh yeah, you did. You did served as a medic or something like that in the Army. Yeah, something's infantry. Ever considering writing medic in space? Just asking. I always forget to ask that. I actually did that. It's called The Most Dangerous, or no, not dangerous. Yeah, The Most Dangerous Man on the Battlefield, or something like that. Or don't mess with Doc. It's in there. I've done a couple of them, and it's pretty much the same thing. Don't shoot at Doc, because when the chubby Sparky over there, you know, the fat electrician, did his whole thing about Doc, he's not kidding. How do I know? I was the fucking machine gunner. That's why. You don't think Doc was going to come a running and that machine gun stop barking? Holy crap. He was right there. And my best friend was a medic. So it was even worse. You know, if something happened to him, I was just emptying that saw. And not only that, I was going to reload and I was going to empty it again. And then I was going to find some motherfuckers. I'm just going to empty it into them because no, that's my friend. Okay. I need to calm down. Erica says, it's okay. Like the ladies you're choosing for me. Okay, good. I don't know. Is Chris in the comments still? I don't know if Chris is still here because I forgot to ask. I saw they were here for a second. Anyways, Kale says, oh yeah, crew mates. One of my favorites. Yeah, for the double entendres. Erica says, try to do this. Short every other day, chapter the next day. If you go back and forth, it'll boost some stuff and get variety. Yeah, I was trying to do that before, and I actually started burning myself out because a lot of times that happens is something is supposed to only be a one-off. Like you guys, I'm sure you've listened to Efficient Killers. Efficient Killers was only supposed to be a one-off. It turned into 2 parts. So what ended up happening when I was doing it like that is I ended up having like 3 series going at the same time. My brain couldn't focus on what in the hell I was supposed to be doing. So I got to be careful with that. I mean, it's not a bad idea, Erica. It's actually a very good one. It's just I got to be really, really careful. Lena said the classic Trek screw up when they did Constitution class refit. They basically nerfed the shift in half. See, I don't know much about that. All I know is every single time they upgrade to a D, E, F, G, H, whatever the hell, literally that thing goes from stay away to back the fuck off to I'm going to destroy a universe when I fart type ship. You know, it's crazy. It progresses to the point where the idea of a space war is kind of silly. I mean, when your weapons are strong enough to blow up half a continent with one blast, come on. That just gets a little ridiculous. Kale says, my problem with classic Trek is they are very focused on the protagonist ship. The antagonist ship looks like an anorexic chicken and brick put together. Yeah. Well, the thing is, and I've said this before, when it comes to a lot of shows, especially science fiction shows, what they love to do is they love to show the technology that they're already working on or that they already have. The classic Trek showed disk drives, CD drives, stealth tech, different fuels for your vehicle, electric vehicles, just all this different stuff that they had, to include the friggin' scanning device. Guess what? You can go down to most stores and get a device that actually reads the temperature off the ground. You don't even have to be close. And hold on, wait a minute. I see. Oh, hey, Trapper, you're back. I haven't seen you in a while. And let's see. I'm gonna write this down real quick. And since he sent a $10 super chat, he says, Big Sarge, any chance of getting more stuff like the first few parts of Ambush Predators? I've listened and re-listened to the first few parts 20 something times. It's all good, but those are my favorite parts. So basically, when the story is just starting, that's your favorite part. I can see that. Like I was saying before, I'm going to be starting on shorts, or I don't want to say it that way because that means something else now. Shorter, one-off type stories. 20 minutes, 8 to 25, 30 minutes, around that. And, just get the story out and stuff like that. So Ambush Predators is actually on the list of things that needs to get done. I got a stack of them. They're right there, maybe 6 feet away from my hand. And yeah, that's it's one of the many things I got on the list that's got to get done. I even got some over here. Let me move this for a second. I got these submissions that were sent in. I got to hit these too. And it all comes down to time, folks. But yeah, if that's the type of stuff you like there, Trapper, then I will make sure that you get exactly those come with the shorts. That's the type of stuff you like on that, because Ambush Predators was supposed to be a one-off, believe it or not. But it exploded. I think it got like 1,600 views in one day. I was just like, holy fucking donkey turds. What the fucking fucks. When those were the good old days when the channel was doing exceptionally well. Unfortunately, I kind of fell off a cliff. Not literally, but you get the idea. But yeah, this is what I was talking about before, as I got to be careful when doing the one-offs, because sometimes they explode and people want more, which is great, but I can't work on all of them at the same time. But yeah, definitely going to be working on the shorts like that, short stories. Let's see, where was I? Classic Treasure. Okay. Keel also saying, yeah, I like the Star Wars ship designs more. Certain ones, yes. Certain ones, I would say no. Now, the one thing they got absolutely right when it came to the battleship that they called a Star Destroyer, everybody thinks that's a destroyer. It's not. It's a battleship. Is the way the nose funnels down in almost like a pyramid. That means that they can get more weapons firing in certain directions than just some block. Okay. But when I did flying bricks, whenever I talk about the weapon system, they're actually up on the corners of where's something I can use here. I don't have an actual brick to show you. I'll use my cell phone here. But say you're looking at it from the side, your cannons wouldn't come across here. Your cannons would be across here and across here, because those would allow them to traverse all the way around to actually strike said target. So, But when they actually shrink the nose like that, it allows more cannons to be pointed forward, which was really good, or a really smart design. The Eka Twins, whatever one, the light cruiser they had, that was a decent design. If you watch Squadron 42, you can see that one of their anti-fighter frigates is designed very similar. It's a good design. What can you say? Sorry, I had to wet my whistle there. But some of the Star Wars designs don't make any sense. Slave One doesn't make any sense. The Millennium Falcon, honestly, cool to look at, doesn't make any sense. In all honesty, when you break it down, it's a freaking tugboat. Sacred Cow Shipyards did a thing on that, and he broke it down really well. He's a prior Navy guy, so he breaks that shit down way better than I do. Let's see. Bite Me says, I enjoyed Trek, TOS, TNG, DS9, and Voyager, Babylon 5, Star Blazers, among others. Now, I couldn't get into DS9 because it was a blatant ripoff of Babylon 5. I mean, it was just crazy. I think Babylon 5 would have done a lot better had they had the actual money that DS9 was able to get a hold of. Voyager, I hang my head in shame just a little bit that I actually watched that show as a kid. Looking at it now, it physically hurts me to see it because literally everything that Captain has to do, there's no consequences. She never actually has to make the hard decisions, which is what made the original Star Trek and Next Generation. Sometimes you have to make those absolutely horrific decisions. There's no right way. You literally just have to choose one and go with it. I don't know why they wrote Voyager that way. I really don't know. I think it was Computing Forever. He did a good rip on that one. I don't remember Star Blazers off the top of my head. I don't know why. And maybe that was a cable exclusive and I didn't have cable growing up. Kale says, only isekai I enjoyed is just Overload and Tanya the... Oh, you love the the severely OP guys. Like they're OP coming in and they just get stronger. Basically, they turn into God. Like what you like. I have a limit on that. I mean, somebody can be, have a whole bunch of abilities, but something's got to hold them back. Maybe it's their own morality. Maybe it's the fact that somebody they know is trying to kill them or whatever it might be. Don't get me wrong. I may not have enjoyed Overlord as much, but I enjoyed the shit out of Tanya the Evil. That's just a fun one. Folks, if you want a really twisted but a fun ride when it comes to an anime, there you go. And there he is. Trapper saying, "Hey, what's up?" And I already seen you down below there. Yep, Guard saying he's seen. Yeah, and he didn't see Star Blazers either. I'm trying to remember. It sounds familiar, and I can't remember it. Fabian saying, "Would you do any more chapters to time management?" I can. I kind of left it on the edge there because honestly, I was suddenly losing people were losing interest in it because it was science fiction, but it was something that if you didn't watch it or listen to it from the beginning, it was very hard to follow. That being said, it can be go. I wrote it down here, so I'll put that on the list of the many, many, many of them that I have to do. For those of you who haven't listened to time management yet, I recommend if you like any type of time distortion type things, future, past, present type deals, go ahead and give it a listen. Start with the first one, obviously, but after that, work your way forward if you enjoy it. It gets a bit dark, it gets a bit weird, and it gets a bit disturbing. But originally, it wasn't meant to be a sci-fi. It was meant to be actually scary. It was meant to freak you out. It's supposed to be suspenseful. It wasn't meant to be focused on the science fiction of it all. But it is a science fiction story, obviously. Leonid also agrees with Overlord. I have my limits on that. Just the only reason I don't really care for Overlord is because, again, the guy is basically the god of death. He can overrun everybody on the entire map. He just chooses not to for a time, and then he gets bored, and then he goes and takes over another country just because he's bored. I'm like, there's no there's no question mark there. There's no what's he going to do? Is he going to have a problem winning? What's going? No, he's not going to have a problem winning. Although I will say the best scene out of that whole thing is when he went, "Oh dear Clementine," which, by the way, is a very American name. And hang on a second, because we got a $5 super chat from the Guardian Sage. Let me write this down. And he says, "Time is a headache. That's why I ignore it when I can." Yeah, time's a real bitch. The thing is, when it comes to dealing with time, we should have an unlimited abundance of it. Even just today, I saw a video of the kid was like 13, 14 years old. He basically built an ether reactor out of $14 worth of scrap. No joke. This guy should basically be Iron Man. And suddenly him and his mother, because she was a single mother, disappeared off the face of the planet after he showed that the damn thing works. And I'm just like, well, son of a bitch. We need to get this technology freed. And I guarantee you, as soon as that happens, we're going to be able to, fix the meat suit so that we don't have to worry about aging. And then you really don't have to worry about time, because time will be on your side. What was the song? Time is on my side. Yes, it will be. So again, thank you, Guardian. And there's Trapper. Again, thanks. By the way, don't forget, guys, if there's a certain picture you want when you get your shout outs, put down in the section below, so I will see it when I'm going through my editing. And that way I can make sure you guys get what you want. Where was I? Star Blazers, Dark. Okay. Let's see. Bite Me says Star Blazers was an animated series out of Japan, aka Space Battleship Yamato aired in the okay. See, that's what happens when you say Macross to a lot of people and they have no idea what you're talking about. You mentioned Robotech, and they know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, it was a different name. I remember that I didn't watch it as the anime. I saw the live action, which was, honestly, I couldn't finish it. It was just kind of silly. A lot of people couldn't figure why the actual bow-mounted cannon wasn't lower. If you go back and look at it, and this is why they put it up high instead of down low, and they put it towards the bow of the ship instead of the what do they call it, the breaker or whatever, that bulbous section on the bottom, is if you look, when it's open, they open the aperture, it looks like a shark. That's the shark's mouth. And then you look up top where the actual railing is, they have cut it out so it looks like eyes. So it looks like a shark is coming their way. Young, like fucking Pac-Man. Waka, 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 waka. That being said, yeah, I didn't see the anime, so I can't say how good or bad that one was. Lean saying how much you love. Don't let anything I say stop you from enjoying what you enjoy. Okay, I can only give my opinion. That's it. Kale, he went back to the black companies. Black companies, it's kind of Asian thing, old paradigm. You see, loyal to your lord clan, bring honor like that. Now swap clan with corpo. In other words, you're their slave. Got it. Basically. Yeah, Bite Me also added, dropping dead at work is a common thing in Japan due to overwork. Absolutely. I keep hearing about that. I'm just like, holy crap. No wonder their population is going to shit. You have kids that are saying, oh, I got an A minus instead of an A. I'm going to go into this forest and end myself. You got women who are told, oh, you need to go and get a degree because that's going to make you attractive to men. No, you asshole. Your best time to get a guy is when you're 17, 18 years old. That's when you hate to say it, but that's just the way things are. Again, once we get the technology that has been held away from us for 60 to 70, almost 80 fucking years, then you won't have to worry, because then all you have to do is, yes, freeze your fucking eggs. Hell, freeze your fucking ovaries and save all the eggs. And then you can just, have a kid every like 10 years or something, and nobody will give a shit. It'll be expensive, but less expensive as time goes on. But in any case, you got and then you got people at these companies who are just, they're working themselves into an early, kind of hard to have kids when you're freaking toast. Not to mention, again, they're working so much and they're eating so little that they couldn't produce a healthy squirt if they tried. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it's so bad over there that those that actually do have the time, usually meeting at work, just go to a love hotel down the street, get their freak on, and come back to work. It's, when I heard about that the first time, I thought it was a joke. It's not a joke. It's real. Oh, Trapper saying, and there goes my signal. Okay, well, that shit. Guard says, what's your opinion on the Isekai Rising of the Shield Hero? It wasn't bad. I didn't actually get to finish it until about 6 months after it aired. Main reason, I was just too busy. I got to see like the first maybe 6 episodes. And when I came back to watch, when I came back again 6 months later, that's when I saw the fight with the Pope or the priest or whoever the fuck that was. That's when I saw that one. That's where I picked up at, and that's when I saw the rest of it, at least for that season. And I didn't think it was too bad. I thought the inclusion of a raccoon girl instead of a cat girl was interesting. I know a certain person in the chat who was a little put back that she wasn't a foxy lady. Anyway, but yeah, it wasn't badly written. Actually, I got a chance to read the first, I don't know, maybe 10 pages of the manga maybe about a year ago, and it was pretty good. I mean, a lot of people were just, the only reason people were against it to start with is because there was a lot of things going around false accusations, and that's what happened. I mean, we know it. If you've seen it, you know it. He was charged with something that he should have been. Let me just collect my thoughts here for a sec. In the Old West, if you were convicted of that crime, not only did they string you up, but right before that, they kind of, took your niblets and cut them off. It's just, and yeah, you either choked to death or you bled to death. It was just, but anyway, yeah, the slow buildup was actually really good. It was very well thought out. I thought the whole idea of the not so human folks aging not because of time, but because of their rank, that was a little weird. The one thing they screwed up on with that is if she's only 5 or 6 years old and she's got the body of a 20-year-old, she's still mentally 5 or 6 years old. She should talk like a 5 or 6-year-old. It just doesn't make sense. If she's actually older, I didn't get that too deep into it, folks, so don't kill me on that one. But that's the only part I can see where they screwed up on. The rest was actually pretty good. Although, just like every anime, there's that one moment of, why didn't somebody just tell me this in the beginning? Like the end of Monster Monsoon, where she's like, oh, you could just wrote off all these expensive. We would have paid you. He's like, why didn't you tell me when you dropped them off, you dumb bitch? And they're like, oh, all you have to do is, do this thing with your shield and you'll get all these extra powers. Well, why the hell didn't you tell me before? So anyways, let's see. Leonid says Enterprise D is an oversized cruise ship in space, basically. I didn't know that what the deal with that. The ship also had a captain's yacht. Yes. Now, that's not something I use a lot in my writing. However, a yacht actually, for a spaceship in particular, does have its own meaning. It's a personal craft, usually very lightly armed, very lightly armored, and used more for just personal use. Now, you could get the yacht confused with a Corvette because they're about the same size. However, they have very different purposes. Corvettes for combat are either built basically around the gun and a nothing but a big gun, a couple of missiles, point defenses, and a big-ass engine, where a captain's yacht or anyone's yacht is much smaller engines, much larger crew compartment. It's there for comfort. It's not there for combat. It's there for comfort. So, but yeah, size comparison, that's where you go. But yeah, it was how do I put this? It was meant to be lived on. It's supposed to be a deep, what the hell, like not deep sea vessel, deep space exploration ship. The problem is they never used it for that. They never went anywhere that they couldn't just turn around and zip back in a couple of days. It doesn't make any sense. Why in the fuck would you bring your kids if you're not going to be way out in the middle of God knows where, and you don't want to leave your kids behind, especially if mommy and daddy are both on the ship. It just makes sense. So that was my issue with the ship itself and the way they set it up. I'm a big proponent of use it the way it's designed. Okay. Bradley fighting vehicle, original design. Okay. Carries 11 guys, fully kitted out. It's a transport. Like this Striker is supposed to be. But what do they do first? Okay, let's add this extra bullshit. We need more bullshit on here. But it's only supposed to be a transport. No, we need a big gun on it. We need missiles. We need smoke. We need ports to shoot out of. We need this, that, and the other thing. Where's the kitchen sink? We're going to throw that in there too. And now, if you ever been in the back for Bradley, there's enough room for, at maximum, fully kit with their assault packs, 5 personnel. That's it. You're not fitting anything else back here. But they insist on squeezing another 4 people in the back at minimum, or, I kid you not, another 8 in that thing, where you're literally on top of each other. You're supposed to be able to drop ramp and be able to exit out that thing in about 5 seconds, everybody. But if you got that many people in the back, you can't. It takes too long, and when you're a static target, you are so fucked. It's the acronym MOVE. Motionless operators ventilate easily. Move your ass. It's just, I was infantry, guys. You don't want us to be static for very long unless you're in deep, deep cover. Then you can maybe be static for a little while. But you got to use something the way it's designed. The way the Bradley is designed, and I've done this. I've actually been able to get this to happen once on a training mission over in Korea. I said, everybody in the back, you're going to have a 4-man team in the back. They're going to have their heavy machine gun. That's a 3-man team, along with a team leader. The team leader must be ready to operate the heavy machine gun and the javelin, because they need to be able to swap over from the heavy machine gun to the javelin to give you air defense and armor defense. Those weapon systems are not for offense. They're defensive weapons. The heavy machine gun can be moved out. However, that is to deal with guys on foot like me. And trust me, a heavy machine gun will cut down a tree. Don't ask me how I know this. Hint, hint. But we did that once, and it was unbelievably effective. And then we were told, don't ever do that again. So I'm like, well, we used it the way it was designed. So anyways, okay, going down here, Leonid says, I like the evil princess from Shield Hero. She was a compulsive liar. Like Seriously, unless she's like facing death, she literally, I don't think physically, the way they wrote her, she could actually tell you the truth. I think the only time they actually showed her telling the truth is when she was actually in the guillotine. And she's like begging for help, saying, I don't want to die. No shit. Who the hell says that? And it's not true. You know. Oh, man. Let's see. Trappers here saying, more or less before it got all big, super spaceships, AI, and that, when it was just some humans using basic tactics to wreck aliens. That's my favorite. Okay. Just like humans throw things very well. That was one of my originals. I did that one. Actually, believe it or not, that inspired Death Orbs. I don't know if you've actually listened to that one. If you haven't, there's actually, I think, one or two additional chapters to that, but they're not really attached to each other. You could listen to any of them without needing to listen to the others. But you can imagine what a death orb is. So, anyways, let's see. Where was I? Okay, Kale's here. Hey, by the way, if I kill the name, guys, don't murder me on that. But I will say this. Japanese literally put company above family, especially conservative old timer. Hell, even their wife literally got angry if their husband performed bad at the office. I know because I stupid that in college when I was just some humans. Okay, I think I'm missing part of it. I don't think it sent the whole thing. I know because I studied it in college. Okay, sorry, I misread that. Yeah, actually, that's one of the things. Even guys that work in the office and get a lot of money, I saw an interview, and I kid you not, the guy said, I will actually go to the bar with my friends after work and waste like 3 or 4 hours not seeing my kids because if I go home, my wife will say, you're not working hard enough. This, when they said how much he makes, when you transfer it over to American dollars, he makes about 99,000 a year after taxes. I'm like, dude, that's some seriously good take home pay. And she's bitching, but that's just the way they are. It's worse in China, actually. Holy fuck. Oh, I know because they actually sang the song with the refrain, if you don't have a car or you don't have a house, don't talk to me. I'm not your mommy. I'm like, what the fuck? Let's see. Down here, said, bite me. He said, talking to Lena, the Enterprise D is big. In shipping, the larger the ship and more efficient it is, the yacht is called the Captain's Gig. Okay, never heard of that before. Kale also saying, yeah, forward-facing ventral and dorsal turrets, correct? Yes. Ventral, dorsal, port, and starboard. Yes. You also have bow and aft cannons. You know, that's the thing. When working with anything in space, guys, if you're especially making any of your space battles, if you're going to write something, make sure you get the verbiage correct. I got lambasted when I first started this channel because I kept using galaxy wrong. That's why I moved it back to sector, okay? or actually saying specifically the soul sector, because I started getting the verbiage right. Thankfully, some folks like you guys actually fixed me, and I appreciate that. I very much do. But yeah, remember, there's no up or down in space. The only down you have is in the pillow that you're sleeping on. So yeah. That's the thing. You always have to have turrets in every single direction. You got to remember all 6 of those. See, now I'm screwing up. Bow, aft, dorsal, ventral, starboard, and port. You got to remember all those. Okay, Demon down here says, I personally love the Lucre Hulk and droid fighters the most in Star Wars. Well, It is just a giant, big ass cargo ship covered in guns. What's not to like about it? It is basically a Q ship. I mean, well, it would be if they hid the guns, but yeah. Leonid says the original name for Star Destroyer is Imperial Cruiser, and also the 1920s dreadnought ship with guns for everything. Yeah, like the USS Texas. Actually, since ship centric, I got to write this down because I was just thinking about this before the stream, talking about the USS Texas because it is the last dreadnought officially. Okay, I'm just going to go through a couple more of these. Oh, crap. Okay, this thing jumped like a son of a bitch. Guardian, did I forget this? Did I not see this? It didn't jump up. Oh, no. Time is a headache. That's why he... Okay. I'm an idiot. Okay, let's see. Lena said, try listening to Tanya of the Evil Book. It's a very large book. Yeah, that thing's been going on for a lot. It's like 10 years they've been working on that thing. New Overlord movie comes out this weekend. Select movie theaters. I'm going to see it. You go ahead. I'm not a super big fan. Isaac, he loves that saga of Tanya's the evil. She's not just evil, she's evil. Yes. Let's see. Okay, people talking about Star Blazers here. Okay. Lena says, I want to continue to watch the new season of Overlord. I've heard there's going to be a new human ruthless commander. Yeah, but can he outpower the Overlord? That's the whole thing. There's no... To me, when you deal with OP characters, there's got to be something that's got to grab you. One Punch Man. Originally, I didn't like that show. I thought it was stupid. But then the character, he's just so goofy. You kind of can't help but enjoy the show. Even though the show itself is kind of like, still, it's a fun ride. And let's face it, it's all got about that. Trapper's out here. Apparently he can't get a good signal. Maybe you should just refresh the page and try. I don't know. Sometimes I do that on other, like when I'm on watching a buddy of mine stream. He every once in a while it'll freeze. I just have to refresh it. Guardian Sage says Methuselah and a bunch of others back in the day lived to be over 900 years old. Yes, when we had those big ass trees. You know how many of those big ass trees we got on this planet now? One. And a lot of people are starting to call it the tree of life. I'm like, yeah, just because it's several hundred feet tall, it makes the redwoods look like toothpicks. But there's actually people saying, well, maybe we should cut it down to examine it. No, you dumbass. Those trees actually allowed our bodies to get a whole lot more oxygen. The true oxygen, the stuff that actually allows us to refuel our bodies and actually fight a whole bunch of stuff that we should be able to fight off. Believe it or not, you can fight off a lot of crap in your system just by pumping O3 into your bloodstream. I know I've done it. And then I hacked up something. I was like, what the hell is this? I think I'm dying. And they said, oh, no, whatever the hell they did to you, they killed whatever was in there. You just hacked up the remnants of it. I'm like, that's nice to know. I thought I was dying early. Let's see. Guard says, oh, yeah, I have no clue if you're seeing the pic. I suggest a little shout out thing. I haven't watched you in a couple days, so whoops. It's okay. I honestly, I just haven't gone into it. I haven't even gone into Discord in probably 2 weeks. I just don't have time to sit and go through any of the stuff. I mean, hell, again, I've got my BattleTech game over there. I still haven't finished it, and I've been on that same game for like a year and a half. It's crazy. Okay. Let's see. Guard also says, I saw the 3D animated Gundam show for Netflix. Bro, they made the Gundam scary in some scenes, especially when they're about to kill someone outside the suit. I saw a couple of the scenes on that, and honestly, if I actually was more of a Gundam fan, I might get into it more. The gun tanks, I'm sorry, just that's silly. I don't know why in the hell you design something like that. To me, it doesn't make sense. But again, I'm not deep in the lore either. But I mean, it is a big ass artillery piece, and you are going to need big ass artillery piece. So having a big gun there is smart. It's just the way they design them is weird. Lena says, we had something like this in communist Russia. Or should I say communist Russia? Oh, you want to go home? Too bad. You can't go home until your boss goes home. Yeah, it sounds like I'm back in the army when the first sergeant doesn't like his wife. Keeps us around for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And it was bad. For those who I haven't told this story to, I kid you not, this happened. I was in 25th ID when this happened. We are sitting there. It's after dark, okay? And on Thursday is supposed to be what's known as Family Day. The flag goes down at 1500. Everybody's supposed to be let off to have more time with the families because we're in a high rotation of going back and forth to Iraq. So they want to get people to, have time with the folks. All well and good. This is Thursday. It's not 1500. It's like 2300. And we're still at the company. And we haven't done shit for hours. We're literally just standing around, basically scratching our own nuts. Don't get me wrong, I like scratching my nuts, but I can do that somewhere else besides work. Well, some guy comes up, he's in a PT uniform, the physical training uniform, and it's dark. I couldn't really see him. I didn't know who it was. So I went to parade rest. I thought it was a sergeant major. He's like, what are you guys doing here? It's a bunch of Joes hanging around, E4 and below. I didn't say a single word the entire time. And everybody else, when they would ask, what are you doing here? I said, oh, we're not allowed to leave until first sergeant. Don't you know his family? Oh, we're well aware of that. Sir, he's like, don't worry about that. Why are you still here? And they let him know what was going on. We're not allowed to leave until the first sergeant leaves. First sergeant doesn't like his wife, so he doesn't let us leave until she goes to bed. And she doesn't go to bed until probably midnight. He's like, oh, well, and he's being all cordial and everything. And I'm just like, okay, this is weird. The guy leaves. Maybe another hour goes by before we're released. It's like 1 a.m. We have to show up the next morning at 5 a.m. to go to, hold on. Let me back that train up for a second because we got another $5 super chat from Guardian Sage. Let me put it ×2 here. He says, what are your thoughts on Sins of the Solar Empire? I'm not sure I've seen it. Let me write this down. Sins of the Solar Empire. Let me put a big old sign that says, watch this. I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything. I don't have time to sit and watch much of anything, unfortunately. I actually had a movie night planned to go and hang out with my dad. That got even canceled. It is what it is. I wish I could give you an answer, Guardian. I really, really wish I could, but I can't. I just can't. So anyways, let me line up here for a second. And let me continue here. Now, we show up for PT the next day. We do our PT. Once you're done, you go, you shit, shower, shave, you come back 09, and that's the beginning of the workday. Well, it's right around 09. We're going to have our formation, and we hear on the other side of the company buildings, somebody's brakes lock. And we're like, what the fuck? Who the hell is doing burnouts or skidding over there? What the fuck? Well, we didn't run out because we didn't hear any crashing of metal or anything like that. We're like, what the hell's going on? Then we hear somebody kick, not open, but actually kick the fire door open. I mean, those things are heavy. You got to get some good run of steam. And we just hear, Commander, First Sergeant, Platoon Sergeant, PLs, get the fuck in here. And we're like, what the hell's going on? Now, it's a 2-story building, and over in Hawaii, they have what's known as breezeways. So everything's pretty laid out open, okay? When you go into a lot of buildings like New York or something like that, the hallways are enclosed. Hawaii, it's open to let the breeze through, hence the name. Well, when we look up, anybody not on the list I just said is currently trying to beat the speed record, trying to get downstairs and get the hell away from it. Apparently, the guy who showed up, he was part of the general staff. I still have no idea who this guy was, but he was pissed. He was seriously pissed. So, and shocker, of course, we happened to get out by noon that day. I was surprised we didn't get let off at 9, but officially you got to wait till 11:30 before it be considered a full day, or at least even half a day. And it's just, it's just absolutely crazy when a boss will do that. Just stay here until I feel like you should be able to go home. Bite me. Let's see. Kale's over here saying, careful, saying War Sniper could write 300 pages paper why it should be a kitsune than a raccoon. I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could. Although she wouldn't be using a sword. She'd be, if it was a kitsune, she'd be using her magic, because those tails are scary strong magic-wise. See, Demon says, a really good anime I highly recommend is Last Exile. The people who made it also had worked on Blue Submarine #6, an anime basically World War I battleships that fly. It's awesome. The story is really good. Put that on the list. He also says, came out in 2003, but the art is still good to this day. And most things that came out in early 2000s were drawn really well. It's just that they were trying to pump out too much stuff. And you're talking about probably a flash in the pan, just something that came out good. Guard says, I saw a reel on Instagram that showed several animes from 1983 to 87. And I have to tell you this, Japan was genuinely cooking with those animations because they were clean as hell. Yeah, they were actually a lot cleaner than the American style. I hate to say it, but the American style, when you look at like Transformers or hell, even Family Guy, is basically the same style, and it's very jaggy. It's not polished at all. It's just trying to pump out something. Japan, actually, their stuff look, and that was actually their claim to fame. People wanted good looking animated cartoons, and that's what you got. Guardian City saying, note, if you can use an image, Guardian Sage, Cobbled Sorcerer. Cobbled Sorcerer. I'll see what I can find. Oh, hold on. I see it. What the fuck? Chris, you crazy son of a bitch. Okay. By the way, I gotta know if it's Christopher or Christine, so I can give you the right type of thing on the shout outs here. Anyway, my dad passes 13 years ago. Spend time with your dad. Ooh, so this is a. This is a shout out. Okay, hang on. I do have to say this, everybody. Raise your glasses. And Chris, to your dad, let's hope he has a good draw on his next assignment. And by the way, thank you very much. You are excessively generous. I'm actually surprised to see that. And it's kind of hard to miss the red because, by the way, we as people, we naturally gravitate to red. It's kind of a warning thing. Yeah. R.I.P. Requiescate pace. I'm probably mispronouncing the Latin, but that's the best I got. Thank you again, Chris, and our hearts with you. So I don't know what else to say on that. Many things, a counselor is not one of them. let's see, where was I? Around somewhere around here. Let's see. Oh, there's that note from Guardian. It says, if you can, okay, Cobble Saucer, dress, one who dressed as a cosplayer of a famous wizard. Okay, why not? Lenin says, I think there's a theory that Enterprise D is supposed to be used as a command ship for this special mission that never happened. So basically, it's the Argus from the Battletech game. Because, yeah, the Argus was actually supposed to have that and its sister ship, and they were not used for what they were designed for originally. Guard also says, yeah, fun fact, fun facts in Elon confirmed that when Trump invites him to the Oval Office, he's walking in there with a sink and telling everybody to let sink in. let this sink in. Okay, why not? He's already done it at his own company. Why the hell not? Bite Me saying how he likes Ghost in the Shell. The original, yes, not the live action, sucked so much sweaty moose knuckles. It's just no. I'm sorry, but as soon as I saw they were not showing her actually naked to actually use the stealth system, I'm like, you're not paying homage to the actual thing. Just because the actress doesn't want to get bare, if that's the case, if the actress is not going to want to do what you are paying her to do, get another actress. Pure and simple, just get another actress. We need the big name. I would say fuck her, but I think she's already diseased up. So no, I don't give a shit about the name. They either do the job or to hell with them. Because the original Ghost in the Shell is a classic. Is a true classic. And the fact that she could turn invisible is because that shit was built into her android body. Actually him, but it's getting a little weird when you actually break into it. And yes, I remember that from back in the day. The only thing she couldn't turn invisible was her eyes. That's why she had to wear the visor. But I mean, just why did they have to destroy something good? Guard also continues with those that are actually two of them. Those. Okay, I think he's adding on something else. I think he's adding to Bite Me. Those are actually two of them, but there are several others I couldn't get the name to. But I have a couple guys in the comment section who said they would try to find them. Okay. Keels here says, wasn't Bradley is only exists because the top brass is panicking because the Soviets made the BMP. That's why it was so rushed. We weren't worried about the BMP. Honestly, the BMP was a POS. Even now, nobody likes being in those things. The armor on those is even weaker than the Bradleys. And honestly, the BMP could punch through the Bradley. The Bradley it's a beer can. It's made out of aluminum. That's the only way they can make it light enough for the engine to friggin' husk that or grab that turret and drag it up. And hold on, wait a second, hold on. Okay. Not only is Chris being very generous today, but we have a Brian Kemp. He's here. And let me write these down there, Brian, before I go too much. And he sent a $20 super chat. He says, enjoying Culture Shock. Thanks for all your work. Okay. Thank you. I don't know if you heard, but we were saying before that don't get too used to the chapters long stories for a while. After tonight, I'm going to be going to one-off stories for a while. And let me jump up here. But thanks again, Brian. I appreciate it very, very much. But yeah, as far as the Bradley was concerned, no, we had other items that could take out a BMP. You could take out a BMP with a 50 caliber machine gun. It's really not that hard. If you know what you're doing, that is. Most people, when they look at a new piece of equipment, they just freak out. Oh my God, what do we do? Seriously, I did that with the Abrams too. We went toe to toe with them, even in Korea, and we had them running scared all over the valleys. It got so bad that I was able to sneak up and shove a smoke grenade inside their friggin' track and basically repaint one of the road wheels purple. Although that was nothing for one guy, he hook shotted a smoke grenade. It went down in the hatch. The gunner wasn't sticking up or wasn't out of the hatch, but he had his hatch open because it gets really hot in there. Boop, 3-point shot straight through. Enter the sound of, just a swish going through. And you just see those guys jumping out. You son of a motherfucker. I'm going to kill you. They said the inside was painted green. We did paint another one. I don't know who threw it, but they got the smoke grenade. There's another purple one, believe it or not, stuck between the turret and the hull. And there's this nice purple streak on the side. That shit doesn't come off for a very long time, if it comes off at all. Anyway, yeah, taking out tracked vehicles, if you know what you're doing, is not hard. It's a pain in the ass, but it's not hard. Hey, kids, you want some death sticks? I don't want to sell you death sticks. I want to go home and rethink my life. Okay. Lena says, ballistic weapons will always be used in PvP combat. Energy weapons can be blocked by the personal shields, and power packs can be disabled. Yes and no. First off, it depends on the type of shield, depends on the type of energy weapon. As far as the power packs, yes, they can be drained or disabled or hit with an EMP and they're fucked. But I mean, there goes your weapons anyway. That being said, it's just hard to stop something flying at you at, 0.82 or 0.85 speed of light. It's just not going to happen. MTF Guard saying, I feel like our future holds a combination of energy and ballistic weaponry. You guys are getting ahead of me compared to what's coming down the pipe here. But hey, speculate all you want and you're going to see what happens. Let's see. Kale says, agree. Energy for point defense, ballistic for punching. Really depends on what you're trying to actually shoot down. Some things either move too fast and you can't hit them good enough with energy. They're actually trying the energy point defense systems on a lot of Navy ships, and it's, if you pardon the pun, it's hit or miss. It's very, very hit or miss. Right now, actually, the Japanese Navy has thrown away all their energy point defense cannons, or basically they've removed the 5-inch gun, which is supposed to be an energy weapon, and they've replaced it with a railgun. They're one of the only ones that have gone to railgun technology. And by the way, those railguns, scary accurate. Let's see. Demon says, I went to school for mechanical engineering, and my graduation project was technically a tank, artillery, troop carrier, and anti-air platform. What the fuck? It could carry a fully kitted Humvee and a 20 personnel crew included. Okay, first off, Humvees are only 5 personnel, but 20 personnel crew. That's a big, big piece of equipment there. But yeah, that'd be very, very interesting if you get something. Now, the thing is, the time of gigantic ground vehicles is pretty much gone. You got to be not seen as much as possible. The survival onion is there. And thanks to new technology, a lot of the layers are just gone. Don't be seen, but they can scan for that area and they know where the metal is. It's crazy. It comes down to don't get hit and don't get penetrated, or don't get penetrated and don't get killed. It's the last two. And it's basically down to those 3. And that third one on the outside, don't get hit, is almost impossible. Let's see. Bite Me says, Space Capitan Harlock. I couldn't get into that. I know a lot of people enjoy it. I just couldn't. Princess Manananoki, which was okay, a little weird. And Demon City Shinjuku. Yes, I have a copy of it. That's downstairs. I probably haven't watched it in 20 years, but I've seen it. That was also a classic. It was really, really weird. But yeah, definitely classics on that one. I personally couldn't really dive or stick my teeth into the Princess Mononoke. I tried. God help me, I tried, but I don't know, something about it. Hey, there's Doug's here. Hey, Drill, how you doing? I am doing okay. Hopefully tomorrow I get myself a deer and I can actually fill my freezer. But, you know, it is what it is. So it's only landowner hunting right now, so nobody's in the woods pushing them. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to remember. Doug, were you one of my trainees? No, you weren't one of my trainees. I'm trying to remember the name, and I've seen Scarborough so many times. I'm trying to remember lockdown where I've seen you. Nothing personal, but I've been to 11 different duty stations in 20 years. You know, as you see a lot of folks. Let's see. Guard saying, by the way, Sin, never watched the second season for The Promised Neverland. It is a complete spit in the face of the manga of the first season. I'm guessing the second season was, oh yeah, The Promised Neverland. Yeah, I can't say that I've seen it. And Demon saying it took him 4 years to design that big tank artillery troop carrier and anti-air platform. Whew. You better be using the anti-grav tech to move that thing around because that's going to be huge. It's going to make the Gustav gun look like a toy. Guard saying they literally compressed almost 70 chapters into, I think, only 4. How the fuck do you squeeze 70 chapters into 14 episodes? You won't even have time to know what the hell is going on. It doesn't make any sense. Demons here, he also says, it would take me way too long and way too many chats to fully explain how it would work. So maybe I can dig it up and share it in the Discord or email it to you. I was really proud of it. Well, if you have a full mock-up, I might be able to do something with that. Send it to me via email. My brain is already starting to work on something. He also says it's meant to deploy in groups of 3, teams of 3. Let's see. Leonid here, for me, you can write immortal character, but you also need to be allowed to. Yes, of course. There's always got to be that possibility where they don't make it. And that's one of the key things. I mean, even Wolverine in the X-Men, he's a regenerator. So is Well, the only reason Deadpool can't die is because Thanos actually pulled some crazy bullshit and he used magic to make sure Deadpool can't stay dead. It's not possible. He can stay dead for a long time, but he won't stay dead forever. Basically, because Thanos is the one who wants to stick his dick in death. I'm not even kidding. That's actually the reason. But you're right. The immortal characters just have to be able to enjoy life. Now, I've actually seen 1 or 2 short videos of these people trying to show what it's like to live forever. And I swear to God, it's only done by manic depressants. People that literally want to be depressed because nothing they do makes fucking sense at all. You know what your biggest problem when you can't die is? Boredom. You're going to be bored. When they did Interview of a Vampire, they actually touched on that. I read the book, and that's what it was. The guy was bored out of his skull because technology wasn't progressing worth a shit. He just simply had to circle the globe constantly trying to find new things to fill up his mind. Learn a new instrument. Oh, wait, he's been alive for 600 years. Of course he knows how to play every single instrument like a trained, master or whatever. He knows how to smith silver. He knows how to mine. He knows how to do all this crazy shit. And yet he's bored because by the time he circles the planet, he's still doing the same shit. It's all it is he was bored. But nowadays, technology is speeding up so fast, you're not going to be bored. Pretty soon, you're going to have your VR glasses where you can sit there and live a whole nother life in 10 minutes while the machine rubs your nuts. I mean, it's going to make you breakfast and friggin' jerk you off while friggin' wiping your ass and you take a shit all at the same time. It's like, the whole idea that living, or I should say, not dying and actually keeping a body intact is a bad thing is only a bad thing for people who are stupid. If you think, oh, well, these other people are going to age out and I'm going to miss them. Well, no shit. That's fucking life, motherfucker. But you know what? You get over it, you drive on. Now, if you want to do something to help out so you're not all screwed up in the head, you do like they did. God, what the fuck was that show? The guy, he was isekai, but he became a farmer and he ended up marrying some vampire chick who kept changing from old to young to old to young to old to young. Well, when I say old, I mean 20-year-old. 20-year-old to 10-year-old to 20-year-old, 10-year-old. And she'd only switch to 10-year-old to make sure he didn't get a boner or something like that. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Anyway, they meet a character who's been alive for like 1,600 years. He says, oh, the best way to do it is every like 400 or 500 years, just erase your memories. And then you won't worry about it. You know you live that long, but that's all you got. Okay, in that situation, yeah, that would make sense. But there's ways around this shit. It's just it blows my mind that these people want this drama. They want people to feel sad. And you know what I think? I think they're just pissed off because they wouldn't be the ones who would get the immortality. And, misery loves company. Okay, Keel says, yeah, I mean, we don't, hold on. Yeah, I mean, we don't do land vehicle that carry personnel as much as that anymore. Even Russians' new vehicle actually decreases their capacity to 1 squad max, I think, except for trucks. It's terrible. Luck is a terrible friend during war. Yeah, especially Murphy's. If Murphy is around, yeah, you got no luck. Now, you always need a transport. Okay. You want people to walk to the battlefield. It's just going to take forever. And everything is wars of movement now. Not only that, but you got to be able to get equipment up there, because if you got to bring everything on someone's back, it's going to be real slow and it's going to be a war of attrition like in Vietnam. No, thank you. No, thanks. Been in that type of terrain. Don't need to do it again. Okay. I have done my jungle training. I've done my freaking mountain training. And when they're mixed together, it sucks so much. You guys don't even want to know. Things literally just fall on you and then crawl down your shirt and try to make a nest in the small of your back while you're walking. It's horrible. You freaking take your shirt off and, live things fall out of you. You're like, geez. Next thing you know, it's going to go down my pants and find some place to crawl into. Not cool. So, you still got to have a vehicle up there, which is why they switched from the Humvee to the JLTV. So they have a way to get people up there. That being said, the main transport over here in the U.S. is the Striker, the standard Striker. There's 13 different Strikers now, one with a big ass gun that you can't squeeze anybody in the back, which is kind of defeats the point of the fucking Striker. So don't get me wrong. The things are quick. They are very quick for a ground vehicle. But yeah, it's just crazy that they're, how do I put this? You might as well just give everybody a dirt bike and call it good. That's all I can say. Guardian Sage says, Sins of the Solar Empire is a video game series that is loosely connected to each other. Okay. I have it right here. It says, watch Sins of the Solar Empire. Lena says, I'm waiting for the Leviathan anime. It's going to be cursed. Okay. I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. Says, Leonid says, what do you mean naked? Ghost in the Shell was a cyborg in a suit. The live action was a cyborg in a suit. The original anime that is based off of, she actually has to pull her clothes off. And that's part of the whole thing at the end when she's trying to rip the tank open with her bare hands while it's breaking apart. Everything's built into her skin. Now, it's a very delicate system, but it's still not an actual suit. It's built into the android body. See, even Demon says in the original she had to take off her clothes to turn invisible. Yes, because again, she's a android / cyborg, if you really want to be specific, who was a guy but decided to have a female body because he thinks it'll make the other guys hesitant to shoot him, her, it, whatever the fuck you want to go over. Now that's going to be some fucked up tech when we get it. Yeah. Let's see. Kale down here says, yeah, I mean, IVF concept, troop, or IFV concept, troop carrier, but with big guns. I don't mind a troop carrier having guns on it. Now, I'm not one for saying the Marines do something right, but when I look at their amphibious assault vehicle, they do have a turret, but it only has room for an M250 cal and a Mark 19. Those are not the biggest of weapon systems. And they're in this tiny little turret. You literally are moving it like I'm moving this. I mean, you use your legs to spin the motherfucker, and it's encapsulated, but still, that's not a lot of firepower. It's enough to keep other people's heads down while you get the meat missile out of the back. Because guess what? Those guys, when they get out, they want to get as far away from that thing as possible. That thing has almost no armor on it, and it's very quick to get shot up. I've done the Higgins boat thing in training, and they're right. You can't see over the side, and you're just bobbing along, and you're like, what the hell? You hit you hear the sand under you, and then all of a sudden the guy hits a lever, and that boat ramp just goes thunk, and you're just like, okay. And next thing you know, I hear somebody behind me literally saying, run, asshole, and pushing me forward, and we're out. And you're just like, okay, now where the hell do I go? I got like 200 feet of nothing but sand in front of me. They're saying run. I was like, run where? There's no cover. So just run. It's like, okay. We start running, and you're sinking, ankle deep in the sand, and you're exposed. You want to get the hell away from it, because if that boat tank explodes, it's going to probably take you with it. But if they put a very large weapon system on it, that takes up room. That's the point. You need the room for people. Now, if you really want to be crazy when it comes to what's coming up with the technology, think about this. They have just turned every single soldier on the battlefield into Boba Fett. And I can prove that. Have you seen the Switchblade, the kamikaze drone? The thing is only about as wide as the end of this, and it's about maybe 1.5 feet long, fits in your pack. What's going to stop somebody from having the legs already out, which is set the thing up, pull the cord out, just go, okay, pa, and shoot it up like Boba Fett's fucking rocket missile thing, and freaking then guide it in because you have the freaking pad in your pocket. It's literally get on your knees, pa, okay, I'm flying it. There you are, asshole. Boot. Zoom in, boom. It's crazy. Science fiction is only science fiction for so long. The only thing they're missing is having a fire and forget system on it. Let's see. Bite Me says, yes, in Ghost in the Shell, it's thermoptic camouflage. At least that's what they call it. And yes, get an actress who will bear it all. Abso-fucking-lutely. This is my big thing about preset characters. Okay. The live action Halo series made everybody stop watching at the first episode. Chief does not take his helmet off in the game. There's a reason why Chief does not take the helmet off in the game. Secondly, Chief does not have hair. Okay. He's been in that fucking suit for so long that the pads have actually worn off most of the hair on his head. Any place it does grow is very short because it doesn't grow very fast if it does grow at all. He gets less scruff than what I'm wearing right now because, again, he's in the suit so much, not to mention his augmentation has fucked up his biochemistry. He doesn't really grow hair that fast anyway. But, I mean, and by the way, it wasn't, I know they like to call it thermoptic. Thermoptics isn't a thing. God damn it. I literally just had it in my head and it fell out. Maybe it's in there. Let me roll it around a little bit. No, hypersonics. Now, don't say hypersonic when you look it up. Hypersonics, plural. And I know it sounds like it's something to do with speed, but that actually has to do with invisibility. And it does basically the same thing as what they showed in the anime. God damn it. Fuck me. I need something else to drink. Okay. But yeah, you gotta pay homage to the original character. If you're not going to do it right, and again, this is what killed me about the Ahsoka, live action Ahsoka. Those are not horns. Those are her ears. Her species, those do not stop growing for the entire duration of her fucking life. And no, you can't file them down. They should be almost a foot and a half tall. Hold on a second. Did I just see something on here? What the? Oh, never mind. Okay, sorry. I thought something jumped up on my screen. So anyway, the actress, when they asked her why the headdress was so low and tight to her head, she said, "Oh, I couldn't do anything with all that weight on my head." Then get a better actress. Get one who can do the fucking job. Get one who actually pays attention when she gets some sort of lessons how to do her actual movements, because she looks like a 5-year-old trying to play with sticks. She's not moving like a professional. They got her dressed up like a fucking nun, and there's no reason for her to do that because her species wears almost nothing. I didn't like the fact that they had a 12-year-old in a tube top, but guess what? It worked according to the lore, so I gave it a pass. I did not like the fact that they put her in a backless dress with a miniskirt. Again, it's part of the actual lore. I gave it a pass. But you got to pay homage to an actual character. If the character is preset, like fucking Optimus Prime. If Optimus Prime started walking around and doing a pirouette or something and started talking like this, I'd stop watching Transformers altogether. Period. Cut, print, I'm done. Because it doesn't pay homage to the original character, and that's what you need to do if you have a preset character. And they do. Ghost in the Shell had a preset character, and I really don't think that actress, as pretty as she is or was, I really don't think she could pull off that role. She is one of those who can barely pull off an action role. There are several actors out there that can't play action roles. They just don't have the chops for it. Will Smith is one of them. I like him in every other role except an action role because he can't play the hard ass in an action role. He tries. God help him, he tries. He sucks at it. But you want to watch the movie Hitch? I'll make the fucking popcorn, motherfucker. It was actually enjoyable. The closest he ever got to an action role was Independence Day. But he was basically just playing himself anyway, making all those quips and stuff like that. But okay, I went on a side rant. Sorry, guys. I'm just... they gotta just stick with the character when they have the character. If they won't and they make a live action version, then they need to find the right actors, actresses, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't care. If you're not going to pay homage to the character, then go fuck yourself. So, okay. Okay, next one here was from Leonid. The Dokharev is an anti-tank rifle and is a really mean rifle. Yeah, no kidding. Try having one fired at you. I honestly thought they had fired something a lot bigger when I heard that. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, I don't even know how close that thing was, but if you can hear the round, you duck. And you find cover as fast as you can. Let's see. Demon says, the 20 personnel were not all crew. 8 of them were. The other 12 were ground troops. Okay, still 8 personnel is a lot for a vehicle. The standard tank right now, at least in Abrams, runs off 4 people. You got your driver, your loader, your gunner, and your tank commander. You know, you can put that down to 3 if you have an autoloader. But the Abrams doesn't use autoloaders yet. The Stryker does with its big gun system, which I really don't like because they can't shoot it on the fly for shit. Okay. Is that supposed to be Patrick or Paintrick? Paintrix Star. I'm just going to say Star because I'm going to screw that up something fierce. He says, it was just the last if they fit 2 seasons in 1 episode. Yeah. I don't know why people try to squeeze so much into 1 or 2 episodes. You can't follow it, and you miss so much. Demon says for his device here, it was slightly inspired, but the PZ Rat 1000, or by the PZ Rat 1000. They call it Cerberus. Why does that sound familiar? I'm trying to remember exactly what it's. That one in particular, I'm drawing a blank for some reason. Lenin says, I only watched the farmer anime who had a dead turn into an evil sister. He leveled up basic skill until he gets really strong. Is that the one where the sister isekai'd with him and she turned out to be a friggin' nut bar? I remember reading that like years ago. Like she was completely nuts. He ended up having to kill her and he was only like 4 years old. Let's see. Demon keeps going with this thing. He says, it was meant to push into a designated position behind enemy lines and hold until the lines catch up. Now, it must be really fast then if it's going to get ahead of the lines. Every time I've done a training event, well, even more than training, a lot of times the vehicles can't keep up. A lot of your infantry, it's the reason why they say Queen of Battle. It's a reference to chess because the Queen can move anywhere very quickly and very easily. So can we. Our maneuverability is what keeps us alive. Let's see. Demon also says, have to leave for work in a few minutes, unfortunately. I work on that project from August 2007 until May 2011. Hey, don't take it to heart that you've been working on it for a while. That Battletech story that I put out on the channel, the actual Battletech story, where it says like the clans had actually arrived on Earth. I brought it down to Earth. That's why it's a non-canonical story. And honestly, I'm very skating the edge on copyright on that one. That being said, I worked on that thing off and on for 10 years. No joke. I can actually go in and read the dates because I put the year next to it. And it was like, I think 2008 when I first started. No, it was before I joined the Army. So like, no, 97 when I first started, and I had to rewrite it like 3 times. Let's see. Lena says, nothing stops tanks from using drones to blast artillery cells over the horizon. Now, here's the thing. Drones have actually changed warfare. Drones have changed all the warfare. All you have to do is look at what's happening in Ukraine and Russia right now. No armor is going anywhere because what used to be land conducive to armor and artillery is now being watched over from the air by drones, and everybody can see them coming. You can't just move en masse because they'll just fly in drones and just blow holes in your formation, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. I've seen video where the drones actually hit straight in to the actual jamming device meant to stop said drones. That's literally the last image that's through there before the whole thing explodes. It's crazy. Let's see. Kale asking Demon if you made a game mod of this. I think I once saw a game mod very identical to what you prescribed. Says he forgot the game though. Okay, you guys are going back and forth. Did not touch it since I graduated. He hasn't touched it since 2011. Ooh, 13 years. That's a lot. Yeah, you got to be careful on that because a lot of times this I'm finding out is a real thing, especially if you're a bit empathic. Hold on. Sorry, I had to just double checking something. But if you're a bit empathic, a lot of times your brain will actually link into what somebody else is already thinking of. It's kind of weird how that is, but I'm starting to find that that's very, very common. Because sometimes a bunch of people will think of the same thing, but only one person has the physical ability to do it. Somebody actually with engineering knowledge, or they're in a certain area where they can work on something like that. And yeah. Kale saying similar. Demon saying Command and Conquer had a mammoth tank with 2 barrels. Yes, they did. That thing was nasty. I enjoyed that was actually a Soviet tank. I remember that thing. And I used to piss off people online when I played that back in the day, because I would keep them way in the back and I'd let the first wave go through, and then I'd push my mammoth tanks up right behind them, and they would think, oh, we're cutting through their forces. And even though we're losing a lot, next thing you know, the mammoth tanks would come up, and anything that was already damaged up towards the front line was immediately just destroyed. And of course, behind them, I usually had my nuke launchers ready to rock and roll. So yeah. Let's see. Lena said, Leviathan anime is based on Scott Westfield's Leviathan novel. I didn't know that. Haven't seen the anime, so I really can't say too much. I haven't even read the book. Demon says, well, gotta leave for work. So now good night, everybody. And yep, I'll see you later, Demon. And it looks like everybody is pretty much done. So I'm going to end the stream here. I mean, we've been going on for 2 hours. So I'm going to give your safety brief to everybody. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your little soldier is going into the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It gets wet in there. All right. Make sure that you stay away from all the type stuff, as it's not only bad for you, but it can make it so you're not here next week. Okay. Also, be aware on the roads. We got a lot of critters moving around, and the weather is getting very, very, very questionable. Make sure you are ready for the weather, especially if something very cold and very icy starts rolling in. Make sure you're able to hunker down for at minimum 3 to 5 days. Keep that in mind. If you can't do that, you better get ready for it. And also have things like a bag of kitty litter in your trunk to get you out of the snow. All right. Aside from that, I'm going to be signing off. Take care of everybody, and I will see you all. Nice one, Guardian. Yes, you get it. I will see you all next time. This is Syntex. I'm punching out.